Hi, Steve and Caleb back with another edition of Smyth Busters. And today we're going to look at the myth that you can over-lubricate an AR-15 and cause it to malfunction.
So it's not even really just the AR-15. You can really apply this to other firearms as well. But the big thing here and the biggest argument is that whenever you over-lubricate it, it's going to attract more dust and dirt and all that kind of garbage. Which,
right.
Sure, obviously it will. You know, even if it's wet, it's going to attract more. It's just one of those obvious things. And it's not so much of the myth that gunk and grime is going to cause the malfunction, I think it is, as much as just there's just too much lubrication in the gun. And it's really kind of subjective. So take the AR-15, for example. If you were to dunk it in a vat of Castrol GTX, as Larry Vickers did on YouTube, and to be clear, nothing he said in that video was wrong. If you were to do that, pull it out, the malfunction would be caused by just the sheer amount of oil in the gun.
That was a great video.
It was a great video. And so the biggest thing here, when you get into the technical side of it, is going to be the increased bolt velocity because of that lubricated chamber.
Right. Anytime you lubricate your chamber or your ammunition, you're going to get more head thrust.
Right. So
that can be a problem. Head
thrust is the key word there. So what's basically going to happen is, let's say you have an AR-15 that's overgassed. It's not overgassed quite to the point to where the bolt velocity is so fast it's malfunctioning. But if you add that head thrust in there, that increased head thrust, now it's moving so fast to the point to where it's going to malfunction.
Right.
So that can technically be caused by over-lubrication. But to be clear, that firearm was already having problems anyway. So I don't think over-lubrication is really the cause of the issue.
Well,
it's just exacerbated the issue.
Now, if you have lube inside your bolt carrier and bolt behind those gas rings, that turns to carbon when the gas hits it, basically.
It does, yeah.
So even a drop is over-lubricating there.
Right, that's an area you shouldn't lubricate anyway. Right. So that can potentially cause some malfunctions. Moving on to other firearm types, I've seen bolt-action rifles malfunction because, some hunters and things like that, they'll just take some grease and just squirt it into that firing pin hole.
Yeah.
Now that whole channel's packed with grease, and instead of going click when it fires, it goes sloop.
Right.
Because the strikers, the firing pins.
Or when they hit
slow.
cold weather.
Hey, yeah, cold weather, that grease thickens up. They're using an inferior product, I'll say. They're not using a cold weather grease, so it's going to thicken up.
Even if a great thick grease is still going to give you that ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like some TW25B, great lubricant, but if you stick too much of it in there, you're going to have that problem.
Yeah.
So
there's ways to screw up a firearm with good lubricant.
There is, yeah. So I mean, the moral of the story here is, under-lubrication is definitely more detrimental to the function of your firearm than over-lubrication.
Yep.
Just use the proper amount of lube. It's gonna, save your firearm. It's gonna save you money. So
you don't want it dripping out so it's slippery in your hand. You
Yeah.
don't want to drop it in the sand so you got it shake and baked, ready to go in the oven.
Yeah. So I would say that you can over-lubricate your firearm based on those factors. Increased head thrust is gonna increase wear on your other parts and things like that. So I would say, yeah, you can over-lubricate it for those reasons. Is it still gonna function? In most cases, sure. But
it'll throw off a lot of the excess too when you're firing.
Yeah, it certainly will. It'll be all over you and everyone else. And so use the proper amount of lubrication. Myth busted. You can over-lubricate your firearm for those reasons we just stated.
There you are. There you have it. If you have different ideas about this or you agree with us, let us know in the comments. We'd like to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time with another edition of Smyth Busters.